Hello everyone, my name is Ambreen and today I will show you on how to make lasagna. So enjoy my video. This is the lasagna sheets that I normally use to make my lasagna. You can pick it up from any local supermarket. Right, now I'll be placing my sheets into the wok. I placed in about 4 sheets. I've boiled some water as well, so I'll be adding some boiling water, but before I add the water I have added in some oil. The oil helps the sheets not to stick to one another. So now I'm adding in some boiling water, enough water to cover the sheets. I like my sheets fairly soft, that's the reason I boil my sheets. If your wok is big enough, you can always add in extra sheets. So whenever I do put in my sheets, I count how many I would need. What I do is I lay them out in my tray. I look at the size of the tray. According to the size, I put in sheets that would fit in the base very nicely. Okay, now what I do is with the fork I'll be separating my sheets so nothing is sticking to each other, and then I'll be turning them over. I'll be doing that to each sheet. Just be careful that you don't burn your hands. Okay, while the sheets are cooking, I have basted my tray with some oil, spreading it evenly across the dish. This is so that my sheet doesn't stick to the base. So make sure you cover the whole tray with some oil. Okay, right, this is the tomato puree that I'll be adding into my lasagna. You can add any flavour you like. My mince is cooked and I'll be adding in the paste. And I'll be mixing it. So the sheets are cooking really well. You can see they have enlarged in size. My mince is done. Okay, once the sheets are cooked, you'll be placing them in a colander like this. So you'll be taking each sheet out individually and placing it into the colander like that. So you keep them separated. This is so they don't stick to one another. It'll be easier to layer your dish if you separate your sheets. Right, I've got my production line ready here. I've got my sheets, my mince, my cheese all ready. I prefer using mozzarella cheese because I find the cheese more tastier and it's more stringier too. You can use any cheese you like. A lot of people use cheddar, but I prefer mozzarella. So now I'll be placing my sheets into my dish like this. Okay, I had a few teething problems. I wasn't happy with that. I'll be putting my sheets like this now. I'm always trying different ways of putting things together, so it is good to experiment, which I'm doing now. Okay, that still doesn't look right to me. And I'm standing here thinking, that doesn't look right. Okay, right, we're going to go back to square one, what we started originally. So now I'll be placing my sheets like this into my dish. Let's just pretend we didn't see that bit. That's better. So roughly, I think, yeah, 4 sheets should be enough. That looks about right. Don't worry about too much about the sheets tearing or ripping. Now I'll be placing my mince onto my sheets like this. My family don't like too much mince in the lasagna because it gets too heavy. So just evenly spread your lasagna. You can cover the whole sheet. You don't have to cover the whole sheet if you don't want to. Just do it the way your family eats the lasagna. Now a lot of people do add in white sauce, so my family and myself do not like the white sauce. I find the white sauce a lot heavier in the lasagna, so I prefer just using the mince with the sauce. And now I'll be adding a layer of cheese. This is so the layer that goes on top will stick together nicely. So what I've done now, I will be carrying on layering sheets like this until I don't have any mince left. So when you do boil your sheets, just count and make sure how many sheets you need for your tray. So my base was 4 sheets, so now obviously I'm putting 4 sheets on top like that. So you'll be carrying on. Make sure you evenly distribute your mince out on top of the sheets like that. You can add in a sweet corn or any vegetables in your mince, that's entirely up to you. But we prefer you keeping the mince plain. There are various ways of layering your lasagna, but I like to layer it like this. So put in the cheese to make it stick together. Okay, as this is my last layer, what you could do with the last layer is get some potatoes and cut out circles, and you can fry the circles and place them on top of this last layer, so the whole layer will be full of potatoes. I have tried it and it is very tasty. So just experiment and try different ways of making your lasagna. If you're making lasagna the first time, I advise be just try it like this first. That's looking lovely, very pretty. Okay, now carry on. And I think this is my last layer. Yeah, this is my last layer. You can make as many layers as you like. Just remember, the more layers you make, the more heavy your lasagna will be. You can eat a lasagna as a meal on its own. Sometimes what I do is I'll make roast potatoes with it, or I'll make mashed potatoes. Okay, we've got one person in the family that does not like cheese on top. Sorry to say, but everyone has a fussy person in the family. So what I'll be doing is I'll be leaving one roll without cheese on top. So the rest of my lasagna is going to be covered with cheese, and make sure you put lots of cheese, because lasagna isn't lasagna without cheese. The fussy person in my family thinks lasagna should be eaten without cheese. So obviously when you're cooking for family, you try to cater for everyone and to keep everyone happy. You don't want to upset anyone, so you do compromise, which I always do with my family. Compromises, so it's not hard work for me, so I do a compromise that will make my work a bit easier. So I mean, for me it wasn't a big deal, because what I just left one side off like that, and now I'll be covering that side with the foil, because when I'll be melting my cheese, I don't want to keep the lasagna sheet on that one side bare, because it'll harden up and it would not be edible. So at least if I've got the foil on, it will be steamed up and the lasagna will get a little bit more softer. And person eating it will be happy too. Okay, this is what it should be looking like. Lots and lots of cheese. Okay, you can cook it straight away, or if you can prep it and cook it in the evening. If you leave it in the fridge, my advice will be warm it up in the oven before you put your lasagna under the grill to brown it. So I've prepped mine from earlier on, and what I did for the evening is I warmed it up and then I placed it under the grill and browned it lovely. That does look really, really nice. Trust me, it tasted delicious. I love my beans and my lasagna. I know it sounds funny, but you know, each to their own taste. This is what my layers are looking like. You can eat it with vegetables, with roast potatoes, however way you like to eat. And lasagna is nice if you have a nice big salad with it too. Thank you for watching my video, and I hope you have really enjoyed my video. Everyone has different ways of making lasagna. I make my lasagna this way because me and my family love eating it this way. So make sure you do try making it this way, because I can reassure you it tasted absolutely delicious. So please do give me a thumbs up if you have enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Bye.